Have you ever just stopped and really thought about this incredible little machine in your head that lets you see, well, everything? Today, we're going to take you a journey. We're starting inside your own eye, and we're ending way up in the sky to really get the science behind how we see the world.
I mean, it's a wild question when you think about it. This small, squishy little ball, only about 2.3 centimeters across, is literally your window to everything. So how in the world does it pull off such an amazing trick?
All right, let's get into it. The best way to understand the eye is to just think of it as a super advanced living camera. It's got a lens, it focuses, it captures an image on a light-sensitive screen, and it does it all in a fraction of a second.
So when you break down this camera, its main parts are actually pretty straightforward. First, light hits the cornea. That's the clear window on the very front. Behind that is the lens, and that's what does all the fine-tuning for focus. And then, way at the back, you've got the retina. Think of it like the sensor in a digital camera, just packed with millions of tiny, light-sensitive cells.
So the journey of an image is basically a 5-step process. Light comes through the cornea, it gets focused by the lens, and get this, it forms a sharp image on the retina that's completely upside down. Yep. The retina cells then turn that light into electrical signals, which the optic nerve zaps straight to your brain. And here's the final piece of magic. Your brain just flips the image right side up so you see the world as it is. Absolutely amazing, right?
Now, let's talk about one of the eye's most incredible abilities. It's autofocus. The way you can shift your focus from your phone right in front of you to a cloud miles away almost instantly. It's just a masterpiece of biological engineering.
This whole process actually has a name. It's called accommodation. It's simply the ability of your eye's lens to change its shape, which changes its focal length, so you can focus on things near or far. And the whole show is run by a set of tiny but really powerful ciliary muscles.
So here's how it actually works. When you look at something far away, your ciliary muscles just relax. They chill out, and that lets the lens flatten and get thinner. But the moment you look at something up close, those muscles contract. They squeeze the lens and make it thicker and rounder to get that sharp, close-up image.
Of course, this system has its limits. Try reading something an inch from your eye. It's all blurry and strained, right? That's because you've gone past your near point, which for a healthy eye is about 25 centimeters away. And the farthest you can see, that's your far point. And believe it or not, for a normal eye, it's infinity.
But what happens when that amazing autofocus system just isn't working perfectly? Well, that leads us to something a lot of us are very familiar with: glasses and contacts.
First up, let's talk myopia, or what pretty much everyone calls nearsightedness. This is when you can see things up close just fine, but distant objects are a total blur. The problem is a simple miscalculation. The eye is focusing the light a little too soon, so the image forms in front of the retina, not on it.
The fix is really elegant. A concave lens, that's one that's thinner in the middle, is put in front of the eye. This lens spreads the light rays out just a tiny bit before they even enter your eye. That small change is just enough to push the focal point backward until it lands perfectly on the retina. Problem solved.
Now, the opposite problem is hypermetropia, also known as farsightedness. In this case, distant vision is okay, but trying to see things up close is fuzzy. This happens because the eye isn't bending the light enough, and the focal point ends up landing somewhere behind the retina.
And the solution, you probably guessed it, is the opposite kind of lens, a convex lens, which is thicker in the middle. Gives the eye that little bit of extra focusing power it needs. It starts to bend the light rays together a little early, which pulls the focal point forward so it lands sharply right on the retina, where it belongs.
Okay, so we've pretty much mastered the eye. Now let's zoom out and look at the light itself. Specifically, where do all the incredible colors we see, like in a rainbow, actually come from?
So here's the big secret. White light, like the sunlight we see every day, isn't actually a single color. It's really a cocktail of every color in the visible spectrum, all mixed together.
This splitting of white light into its different colors is called dispersion. The legendary Isaac Newton was the first to show how this works by passing a beam of sunlight through a glass prism. What came out the other side was that beautiful band of colors we all remember with the acronym VIDJOR. That's violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red.
So what is a rainbow? It's just millions of tiny little water droplets hanging in the air, and every single one is acting like a tiny prism. When sunlight enters a drop, it bends and splits into colors. Then it reflects off the inside back of the droplet and bends again as it comes out.
sending a perfect little spectrum of color right to your eye.
All right, let's take our final step back. We've gone from a single eyeball to a single raindrop, and now we're going to zoom out to the entire atmosphere. We can use these exact same principles to unlock the secrets of the sky itself.
This brings us to the classic question every kid asks. If sunlight is white and has all the colors of the rainbow in it, why do we look up and just see blue?
The answer is something called light scattering. Our atmosphere is filled with tiny particles and gas molecules, right? When sunlight hits them, it gets bounced around and redirected. But here's the key: not all colors scatter equally. Light with short wavelengths like blue and violet gets scattered all over the place far more easily than light with long wavelengths like red.
And that one simple fact explains both the blue sky and red sunsets. During the day, that blue light is getting scattered everywhere, filling the atmosphere from every direction, so the sky looks blue. But at sunset, the sunlight has to travel through way more atmosphere to reach you. Most of the blue light gets scattered away long before it gets to your eyes, leaving the longer, more direct red and orange wavelengths to shine through.
And the atmosphere plays other cool tricks on our eyes, too. The light from a distant star is basically a single point. As it passes through all the moving, churning layers of air, it gets bent back and forth, making the star look like it's twinkling. But planets don't twinkle because they're so much closer. We see them as tiny little disks, not just a single point. So all that bending and wobbling just gets averaged out.
4. We've talked about biology and physics and the entire atmosphere, so what on earth could the number 4 possibly have to do with any of this? From the mechanics of a single cell all the way to the color of the sky, our eyes let us witness the universe. And it turns out, through eye donation, a single person can give the gift of sight to 4 people who are suffering from corneal blindness. 4. It's a really powerful thought, isn't it? It really makes you wonder, what do you want to see, and what could your eyes show the world?